Change of scenery, no longer in a dark dungeon. So today I want to talk about um, how I think people misunderstood optimizing your life and having a balance in your life overall, and just why for now, when you are in the beginning of any journey that you're in, you should basically forget about optimizing your life because it will just be too much. So most of the advices on the internet that I've been hearing and a lot of people my age hear about, now given on optimization and having any kind of balance between your work and your personal life, they're good, but they are not given to the right type of people. That's what they think. Because the advices that people give, having optimized and balanced life, nutrition, sleep, blah blah blah, all of that is given by people who are already up here, right? Already up here, you're just a small motherfucker who is just starting out. You're right here. You see that gap? That gap is the problem. It's not the problem in advice itself, but the problem is that advice is given to a very broad range of people, right? And you are not in here, right? You are somewhere here below. Not trying to demotivate you or anything or be rude, something like that, but let's be honest, right? Let's just be honest. I remember when the first time I saw Brian Johnson's morning routine and just how he lives his day in general. I think it was just a bit more than a year ago, right? I got anxiety, like slight anxiety on how unhealthy and unoptimized my routine, training, nutrition, specifically sleep are. I thought I should be living like he lives, right? Because his routine is the most researched one and the most optimized, the most balanced. But I understood that I'm no way near the Brian Johnson. I'm just telling about him as an example, right? It can be basically anyone who's already successful giving life advices and something like that, I understood I'm no way near his position to be thinking about how to optimize my life the way he does it. So I think when Brian Johnson was just starting out working on his startup or something like that, he admitted that he lived a very unhealthy lifestyle. But now he's rich and has a lot more free time, so he can optimize his life. I'm not rich now. I don't have a lot of free time. So I just have to squeeze the most out of the least that I do have. So in my opinion, if you're limited in time and or money, then you can't really think about a balanced life and all of that optimization, right? But how to get the most of what you have right now, and basically what can you get away with, right? For just bigger efficiency. So what are the lowest hanging fruits you can pick to, I don't know, to have a better nutrition, have a better sleep, have better training, mental health, and your brain capacity is, I think, very important for that. So what I'd probably like to start with is definitely caffeine. I was skeptical on caffeine until I had to write my bachelor's thesis while working full-time and going to the gym. Because I didn't want to get addicted to that, but I didn't get addicted. I was drinking matcha with some guarana powder, and it was actually great for me, especially now as I'm trying to lose weight. So I noticed that on the mornings, my head is not thinking that clear. That what I noticed, and that really pissed me off. So I realized that I have to do something with that. And just in general, when you are trying to lose weight, you don't really have that much energy otherwise, right? So what I do right now is just drink maybe 2 matcha cups per day, 1 cup of coffee, maybe 2. And recently I started taking caffeine pills. So the one that I have right here, 1 pill is 200 milligrams. It's 200 tablets for I think it was 18 euros. So like 9 cents per one pill. I think it's really great for what it does. And I'm taking it right before the workout, and just to have more energy. But all of my workouts during the working days are after work, so like 7:30 p.m. And of course, you can't really take caffeine that late. But that's what I'm trying to talk about in here. When you are that young, you can take caffeine that late and you'll still be fine. Because you are in that position when you are basically a superhuman. When you are young, you can do almost anything. Look, I'm not telling you to snort cocaine before your workout or just shoot steroids for horses. No, I'm not telling you to do that. Just be smart about it, right? This works for me, right? This works for me. If I'm taking it particularly late and I'm getting from gym back home very late, then I will just take I will just take some melatonin. I know is some skepticism on melatonin, but it's fine. It's really fine as long as you're not abusing it. So actually, there was one study that there were no adverse side effects for people taking more than 10 milligrams of melatonin per one serving, and 10 is huge amount. I'm taking 1 milligram, and that's absolutely enough, and I'm taking it maybe 2 times a week, 3 times a week at most. Like, I'm telling you should not abuse it. So like 3 milligrams split in 3 doses per 1 week is the most you should really go for. Sometimes I notice that after taking melatonin, waking up in the morning, after 1 to 2 hours, I can still feel a little bit of drowsiness in my head. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I just counter it with some caffeine, and it's fine. I know it doesn't sound very healthy to what I say right now, but when you are young, you can still do that, and you will be fine. Because it's not like methamphetamine or something like that, right? So just be smart about it. If it works for you, it does work for me, so I can keep doing this, and I'm not abusing that, right? So more on the melatonin. I remember when I was bulking, I was getting back home maybe like 10:30, and I still had to eat my last meal, which was like maybe 800 calories, right? And with stuffed stomach, it's really hard for me to fall asleep, and my sleep is like super shitty. But I knew that's the price I have to pay, right? That's the price I have to pay. And I had to eat my last meal at like 10:30 p.m. So I remember also taking melatonin after that, and I was fine, really. And just trust me, you will go crazy if you want to optimize your life, like all these gurus are telling you to live like having this 2 hours morning routine, 3 cold showers, 5 hours of like meditation is just too much, right? If you're busy, like I work 60 to 70 hours a week, and I don't have time for things that might work or might not work. That's really a big topic for me and something I'm very interested about. So like, which things are actually the most efficient? So this 80-20 rule, like which 20% of my actions lead to 80% of my results. It's very interesting for me personally, and I think I will do much more research and just break it down into the sections like training, nutrition, mental health, and mental performance. So yeah, I will do much more content on this.